When we first brought our sheep to our homestead, you wouldn't believe the number of times that we had to chase them around our house, and they even went into the road a few times. So how do you train sheep to follow you if you don't have a sheepdog? Well, stay tuned. That's exactly what I'm going to show you today. I'm Natalie Lucier from Waykeeper Farm and Nerdery, and we have dairy sheep on our homestead, and we didn't know how to train them when we first got them here. We figured, well, we have had a dog and other people have other types of animals, so I'm sure we can figure this out. But it wasn't as easy as we expected. So first, let's go ahead and put ourselves into the hoofs of our animals and think about things from their perspective. When sheep first arrive to your farm or your homestead, they don't know who you are, they're in an unfamiliar place, and they're gonna be skittish, and that's perfectly normal and understandable. So the best thing that you can do for those first few days is to keep them in the same safe area, like a barn stall, for example, so that they can get used to you and they're not going to be able to run away. This helps them get acclimated, and it also helps you build trust. So your goal during this time is to be consistent and to really spend enough time with them so they get to know you. And yes, I have been known to bring my laptop and sit down in a barn stall or a paddock with new sheep so that they can get used to me, they know that I'm not threatening, and I can get a little work done too. Next, you're going to want to put together a bucket of grain to start training your sheep. Now, we provide a high quality, high protein grain mix that we give to our sheep, and especially our dairy sheep, because it helps them produce more and stay in better condition. But it's extremely yummy. They consider it to be a great treat. So this is going to be a key to training your sheep. Over time, as you give them their grain bucket every day, you start to become the bucket people, and that's when they start to trust you and expect that from you. After a while, once you've been giving them that bucket of grains, you'll be able to lead them from place to place using a bucket of grains, because they know exactly what to expect when you have a bucket in your hands, and they're going to follow you because they want what's in there. And that's exactly how we lead our sheep from pasture to pasture, and how we lead them back to the barn and then back out to the pasture for milking every day. You do have to give them the grain bucket after they follow you though. No false advertising here. You're not trying to trick them with the bucket. Now, what happens if your sheep see something that's even better to eat than that bucket of grains when you're trying to lead them with it? Well, that happens a lot in the summer, and in fact, it happened to us so much because we had all these young tree seedlings that we had planted with tons of yummy leaves that our sheep would prefer over the grains. And you can watch a whole other video all about tree forage and why sheep find tree leaves so yummy. But what we realized is that we needed another technique beyond just the bucket. So we developed a brand new sheep training technique, and I have no idea if anyone else does this or if there's any psychology behind it, or even if it works for other people. But here is the super secret tip. We run. Once we start running while holding a bucket of grains, it's like sheep realize, oh, something's going on, and they start running as a group behind us and they follow us. This running technique is very helpful if you have most of the sheep following you, but there's one or two that have their eye on something else and they're just not following the group. Once you start running, they will run to catch up to the rest of the group. And yes, this running sheep technique is a little bit tiring if you have far to go, but we never have to go to the gym. Plus, this little sheep training trick has saved our tree seedlings on so many occasions, and we're just happy it works. So these are my super basic but very effective tips for training sheep. And if you have any sheep training methods or tips that have worked well for you, leave a comment below. And if you don't have sheep yet, go ahead and watch my video to find out which sheep breeds we chose and why.